Chelle here from Chelle McQuaid TV, where we're helping you find ways to move from functioning to flourishing by putting the latest science to the real world test. Today, I feel very privileged to have with us Dr. Shane Lopez, who's one of the world's leading researchers on hope and the author of a wonderful new book called Making Hope Happen. Shane is a Gallup Senior Scientist and Research Director of the Clifton Strengths Institute, where he researches the links between hope, strengths, academic success, and overall well-being, and collaborates with scholars around the world on these issues. A prolific author, Dr. Lopez has published more than 100 articles and chapters and 10 books. A professor of education for a decade, he is now a professor of business at the University of Kansas. Welcome, Shane.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being with us, Shane. Now, I was lucky enough to hear you speak last year at the International Positive Psychology Conference around your work in hope, and I was fascinated to understand, some of the incredible work you're doing with the Hope Poll and how hope's linked to student well-being and academic achievement, but also some of the things you're starting to discover about hope in workplaces. So as we get older, is hope still relevant to us, or do we outgrow it?
Oh my goodness! It seems like it's relevant to us from zero to later life and up until our last days. We start kind of flirting with hopeful thoughts as young as 2 years old. So little kids are saying "me" and "I want" and "let's do this" and they're pointing at things and that's kind of the first indication that you're an agent in your own life. Right. And then they start to tell stories at 4 or 5 years old, and they're superheroes in their own stories. And then they kind of build up this capacity to aim that sense of agency at goals that they're excited about, and then pursue those goals down all kinds of pathways. So as young as maybe 6 or 7, we have everything we need to be hopeful. And I think we just continue to build on that capacity across our lifetime. And certainly through our challenges, our hope, support, and successes, we can build hope over time.
So tell me a bit about nexting. I was fascinated in your book about this process of nexting and actually how our brains are wired for hope, because I don't think I'd ever appreciated that fully till you shared some of that work.
Yeah, this bigger science of prospection, how we think about the future, is really catching on right now across the world. And part of that has to do with the basic capacity to think beyond the moment. And we think, oh, that's natural. Everybody thinks beyond the moment. And you're absolutely right. But because it's so natural, we really don't take advantage of that capacity. We don't use it in full. But think about this. You're creating memories of the future. Mm-hmm. So you're thinking about the future in such a way that it's so vivid that you're actually creating memories of something that hasn't even happened. And kind of the baby form of that, the adolescent form of that, is basic nexting. So you have a 9-year-old son, I have a 9-year-old son. They walk around and they say, next time we play football, next time we go to the movies, next time we have so-and-so over. They're building anticipation, they're building excitement, but they're also painting pictures of what that future looks like. And think about people who start a business, entrepreneurs. They do that all the time. In fact, the better they are at it, the better they are at being an entrepreneur. The better they are at nexting and future casting and telling the stories of the future, the better they are at getting from point A to point B. So nexting is kind of, again, that adolescent version of thinking about the future. It's bigger than just fantasizing, but it's not full-fledged hope just yet.
And so talk a little bit about how does wishing and hoping, how are they different from each other?
Yeah, I don't know how far afield this phenomenon called The Secret has spread.
Oh, it's in Australia.
It is the single most destructive phenomenon in psychology, I believe. This belief that wishing really hard will make for a better life. Wishing is just fantasizing. It's truly just getting really excited about these images that you may or may not do anything about actively as an agent in your own life, and thinking that that will draw forces your way to then magically make good things happen. That's what wishing is, and that's what the secret is all about. Hoping is the only thing it shares with wishing is that it's about the future. It's about the future. But becoming an agent in your own life, becoming a self-directed creature who writes your biography of choice, that's about being really active, working really hard. So wishing is passive, it's easy, it's potentially destructive, because what good research shows is that when you wish really hard about something, you almost experience the benefits of actually having it, like the pursue the goal. So you never really get to the successful place. You just have this little surge of adrenaline that suggests you might have done so already. Hoping is hard work, and you have to actually move yourself and move your plan forward with the help of others, experience setbacks, and ultimately get to where you want to be.
So how can organisations use hope? Because I think the last few years, the economic climate most businesses have found themselves in, hope's probably been pretty scarce on the ground. So how are you seeing organisations implement some of these ideas?
Yeah, the most challenging thing for organizations in these times of uncertainty is having hopeful leadership. And I've had very frank conversations with leaders in companies who tell me, Shane, I'm losing my hope. And I just look at it and say, well, you better find it. You better find it, because without you being hopeful about the future, you can't lead. So being hopeful is part and parcel of being a leader. In fact, we've studied that at Gallup, all the leaders in their lives. So just think about that. Who's the most influential leader in your life? And then think about what they've given you to make your life better. We asked people, 10,000 people, those questions, and we were less concerned about who those influential leaders were. We did analyze that, but we were more concerned about what they were given by that influential leader. And the 4 things they were given was a sense of stability, an emotional feeling of trust, an emotional feeling of compassion, and then a lifting up by hope.
Wow.
So stability, trust, compassion, and hope. Those are the things we get from influential leaders. So first and foremost, a leader in this economic time needs to be someone who can deal with the uncertainty in his or her life, their concerns about their company, but still lead with hope. And they have to figure that happen. And usually they band together. So these leaders, the most hopeful among us, they'll band together and try to buffer each other from the ills and the downturns, and figure out a way to be hopeful in this climate.
So aside from kind of banding together, if you're a leader in this climate and your hope's kind of waning, are there specific things that you suggest that people do based on the research to kind of buoy their hopes up, perhaps?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have to pursue one project that you're truly, truly excited about. And it may not be the most lucrative project, it may not be the project that has the most upside or the biggest ceiling, but you have to feel excited about the future so that you can get through the grind of the everyday work that's needed to make a profit today. So I encourage people, and Google had the rule of 10% time, and during the recession they kind of backed off of that rule a little bit. But now other companies are realizing when we give people just a little bit of time each week to pursue a project they're really excited about, that excitement kind of, it overflows into all of their other work. So I would say, as a leader, gift some of your employees with the autonomy to pursue goals that they're excited about. And it doesn't actually have to be a work goal. It can be a personal goal. So a friend of mine who's a CEO of a company that's 80 people strong, he gives everyone from 8:30 to 9 o'clock on Friday morning what he calls dream time.
Nice.
8:30 to 9 o'clock. They've registered their dreams. They've logged in their dreams, what they want to accomplish in a window of time using dream time. And during that 8:30 to 9 o'clock time, they're at their desks working on their dreams. And he said since he started doing that, engagement has gone up, productivity has gone up, and revenue has gone up. And that he started that right after the recession started. So he has seen growth in these times of uncertainty, and he attributes it. The thing I really need people to do is think about all of the obstacles we accidentally or purposefully put in front of others. And how can we create an opportunity to knock down some obstacles for other people? How can we make work easier for others? How can we do maybe even a company-wide audit of policies and obstacles and get rid of the ones that just don't make sense anymore? Because during these times of uncertainty, we sometimes have less positive emotion to get stuff done. And why not eliminate some obstacles so that you actually have more positive emotions to get things done? But finally, it does come down to people. The most hopeful people among us need to be put up on a pedestal so that other people can learn from them. So spending time with the most hopeful people in the company can help us figure out ways to get over the hurdles that we're facing right now.
I think there are 3 really practical things that people can do. I love that idea of having dream time in a company. And I've noticed myself even, having a passion project kind of stimulates that positive emotion and definitely infects other areas of my work. And I look forward to getting that time so I get other things done more quickly so I can go and play a bit more on that passion project that's pulling me forward. So I think that's a great idea. Shane, thank you so much for joining us today.
You bet, Michelle. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed chatting with you.
I highly recommend Shane's new book, Making Hope Happen. Whether you're in business and you need to ignite a little more hope around your office, or you're a parent with kids, it's great for both purposes. And be sure to stop by Shane's website, hopemonger.com, and take the free Hope survey to see how you're doing, and check out some of the wonderful free resources he offers to give your hopes a lift. Of course, if you want more tested, practical and playful ways to move from functioning to flourishing, stop by MichelleMcQuaid.com, leave your name and email address so you can hear all our news first. Remember, you are good enough, so don't be afraid to let your light shine. Until next time, take care.